is the best part of experience. Sometimes someone who has experience is the better teacher of anybody else. In the last 20 years that I've been here, we've had so many people that come on to Hill Fire Department, they get the experience, and then all of a sudden they go get someplace else and get hired someplace else, and we just let them go. So every single chief that I've seen come here has helped to deal with that for the last 20 years I've been here. Anything beyond that, you can ask David, because it's been like that for an ongoing thing.
And unfortunately, Paula, that's the same everywhere. If you have a place where people aren't going to get paid, they are going to gravitate towards places that they're going to get paid. They know their net worth, they're gonna go someplace else and get their net worth. I'm sorry,
What,
can you introduce yourself for the
Jane Brown,
Jane.
what is the morale problem right now?
That's a tough one to, you know.
I mean, it
Well,
seems to be a problem.
there's 4 or 5, they all get along good, but the problem is, none of them even have firefighter 1.
Are they the same ones that have the problem with Jamie? You said you had 5 that wanted to resign if he
No,
didn't leave and
no,
then was
no.
that?
They supported me.
No, I mean, there
Now-
was
now they
supposedly
do.
5 that
Now
wanted,
they do.
and then there was 4 or 5 that wanted Mark out. Are they the same ones?
Yes.
No.
The-
Oh,
No,
that's
that
good.
want Mark out. There was only 2 that came here to a meeting and said they wanted, we had one firefighter said he was resigning because of family stress and work stress. That was the reason he gave us. We had 2 at a public meeting say that they were resigning if Mark was the chief.
And a letter.
We had somebody that did it by letter.
So it's,
Do we know why? What is the morale issue?
There was a multitude of reasons for it. A multitude.
I'm sorry.
Tom Scrivener, can you do like a voter or a taxpayer survey that's drawn up with the questions specifically that you're talking about, or someone that knows what the question should be, and then have those responses as part of this hearing that you want? Because nobody comes here, it's not gonna happen here, this is like a huge crowd.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's coming to this public hearing, but, you know, maybe you can have a plan for the fire department based on taxpayer, you know, written opinions of what the priorities might be. We're just going in circles. I mean,
What I
it's just like-
would throw out to address that is similar to when we got
I don't know,
chief.
I don't have an answer.
When we got police chief, there was a motion to form a committee. I think,
Well,
did you motion it? You were on it.
Oh, yeah.
To do the
For
police
this guy?
chief.
Yeah.
There was a committee, there was a committee to review that,
Yes.
review what we wanted, blah, blah, blah. The standards, what the community wanted. There was a committee that formed to do that.
It appears to.
I get it.
Right?
Yeah? So my assumption is that
me patting him on the back.
my assumption would be that would be the best plan of attack.
But you gotta remember, we were hiring a full-time person with
Yeah.
full-time benefits and pension.
Yep.
We're asking somebody to be an on-call fire chief.
There's
How much
no
did you
less
get paid?
importance to it.
Oh, absolutely not, absolutely.
So
I
therefore it constitutes-
am not arguing that.
But where are we gonna get this mysterious person from? Where is this person gonna come from?
It could be the person we have. What I'm saying is, if we form the committee to get what the people want in their chief,
That's
Then
not a
we
bad
know.
idea.
then we know what they want.
And we would hold them to a number of set hours, and because that's the
Yeah,
problem.
that's gonna open a
If-
whole other conversation.
Well, I'm
Hey,
just
what do we
saying, Mr. Moulton couldn't give us the amount of time that we had needed, so you're opening
Volunteer
up a
paid on
big can of
call has
worms.
no set hours.
What do we pay the chief now?
Again, it's so, you can't
it-
work.
it's-
No, fire chief.
The fire chief,
Fire chief.
Lisa, do you?
It's a
$16.
I'm sorry,
$16 an hour.
all right.
The can of worms.
Hold on.
Sean, you can't legally put it that way.
Please,
I'm sorry, we got too
Clarify.
many people talking and we can't, it's not gonna pick it up on the tape. All
You
right,
can't define hourly pay for an on-call or volunteer person.
correct.
$16 a call.
What's the
But
stipend?
actually, it's $60 an hour for admin time.
You can state it as a
What's he
flat
budgeted
rate,
for?
you can't state it as an hourly rate.
What's he budgeted for, his stipend?
It's,
Seven?
the way it's done now, well, it's, anybody who does admin work gets that rate. Because none of the reporting was getting done.
I thought he got $5,000 a year.
No.
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 This brings up another question that I've asked more times I can count. Why are they on payroll? Because if it's a stipend, it's not an hourly rate, it's not anything. Why is it not a 1099 NEC? It is not a payroll position.
Because the reason for
They're not
having,
an employee of the town.
the reason for having them be on that is because then they are eligible for workman's comp if they get hurt in the line of duty.
I think that's an RSA, is it not?
Yeah, and that makes sense. You've got to cover them.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you're gonna do it.
I think that's one reason Chip for that way
It's
back in.
back in, and I remember that town meeting, and talking.
He pushed for paid on-call guys
Right.
over the volunteers because of insurance. He pushed back then for that.
Right, and that's
So
essentially.
they're on payroll and insured, and can get workman's comp.
Only on call, if they're called.
Okay, so selectmen get paid. We're on payroll.
Yep.
I can't get workman's comp. Why am I on payroll? I gave up my pay, but they're on pay. They can't get workman's comp, they can't get any of that. So why is it on payroll?
Because there's a hazard deal in there, is there not?
It's a temporary position,
No, wait a minute, wait a
so it's
minute.
not a
Because you're
payroll,
elected?
so you're not a
No, I read
long-term
this.
employee.
It's kinda getting off
Under-
track though.
You guys need to
Under
do a little more
Primex.
research on that. I sent Stephen the link today.
Well, I've
You're
read.
not
plenty of it
disqualified from
before,
any of
but-
the insurance or any of that other stuff by being a firefighter and on call.
I'm sorry,
There's
back
a
up and
federal
say,
standard, it's a
I'm sorry,
federal
Charlie,
standard
can you
that
just back up
applies
and
to
say-
on call.
okay, you said something in the beginning, I missed it, I didn't hear.
I sent Stephen a link today that addresses that very subject, and it has in it the RSA's and the federal standard that apply to on-call volunteer firefighters. And you're not exempt or disqualified from insurance or any other. You get a nominal fee, but it cannot be referred to as anything other than a flat rate or a fee. It can't be hourly, it can't be a specified fee, it has to be considered a nominal fee, a reimbursable expense, or it has to be a fee that they get for mileage or something like that. Okay, all of those things apply, and you're not disqualified from insurances or anything as a firefighter. So it's a whole different standard.
I thought
See, we can share
Primex,
with you the link.
I thought Primex set the criteria for coverage for a firefight in a town.
Primex just asked how many employees we have. I can't even tell you, how many employees do we have?
No, firefighters are different, I read that somewhere.
Classified as different under Primex. They're not
Because of
classified.
the risk of injury. No, there is, I can't call Primex because I'm nobody, but you guys.
I'll get a follow-up from Primex
You
tomorrow.
pay the bill.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead, no, go ahead.
I would like, since there's great conversation about this, for two things to maybe be settled tonight. One is to have a public meeting that's been called for, and have it, advertised correctly and loudly, and let people come from all directions, and get this taken care of. And secondly, I would like to see, Mark's a great guy, who doesn't really like Mark? And he's done a lot for the department, but he should get certified. Let's get him, let's, if he doesn't want to, then, and that would be your parameter. You set up that for, it doesn't have to be a long, lengthy, but certain qualifications for a chief. And one should be at least firefighter 1, so that the men who are under him respect when he gives instructions to them at the scene of the fire. I mean, he has experience, but there's just something about schooling and present day knowledge of all the new stuff coming
somebody talked and brought up, I think was a good point, a committee. Put a committee together for the fire department. I mean, we have them for the library, we have them for everything practically. Why not have one for the fire department? Maybe a committee that can look into grievances, independent, not under the chief or anybody else, but under the select board. You know, just to try and diffuse or mend some of the things that are going on. Possibly even get some of our firefighters back, if we can show progress. Just a suggestion.
Mr. Estes?
Yep, so I just want to state to this gentleman's point, the reason that I asked for a public hearing is because there is a formal process associated with a public hearing. There's an outline of that it needs to be posted. It needs to be posted for a certain period of time. It needs to be posted in at least 2 different places. There's a formal process to a public hearing. I don't think it's appropriate that we just, again, roll out a posting a day or 2 in advance of a special meeting and say, okay, we're gonna do this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That might not be the most convenient time for everybody who has to work during the day and stuff. So, I'm saying it for the formal process of it. I think that there should be a public hearing.
I hope you take this that I'm not disagreeing with that in and of itself, of what you're saying. However, if you look at the response that we have to voting, town meeting, how many people do you think are gonna show up for that meeting?
I don't know, let's find out.
Had a pretty good response tonight.
notice, we might.
Might be more than we have now.
Okay.
Okay, he's
Much better than what we had at the public meeting on the 9th.
Do we have to make a motion for that or something? or-
That's what I'm going to.
They have to?
Before you make your motion, my name's Frank Simeone, I'd like to suggest that whatever we do by way of a public hearing or a committee, we make sure we go to our fire department and ask them to assist and participate. We can't turn our back on who we have. That's gonna be our core, let's work with them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shelley?
I know you guys are considering a motion,